Hello, Munchkin Adversary here, and there is an actual good reason as to why I have this up here, this tribute. Yes, I am a Squid Game fan, and yes, when it comes to Sung Gi-hun, the main character of Squid Game, spoiler alert, he says this near the end, near the very, very, very end. We are not horses. We are humans. The reason why I have this up here is because we're treated like we're in some kind of game where we can just judge anybody. We can say whatever we want when that's not really the case. Meanwhile, we got so many victims on this planet. And we have so many bullies. And we have so many bullies who are questionable really because they may not realize that they're bullying, while others, they realize it, they know it, but they don't care. They use other people to bully for them, especially. So, this video, I'm going to try to watch Goth Nebula commentary, Has She Improved? And I'm also going to watch, if not in this video, the next, oh my goodness. Goth Nebula, You Need Serious Help. I'm going to watch these two videos to the best of my ability in this one because I don't want to keep making videos on people who show up like they're using integrity and they're just saying things just to rack up points and, you know, fame, to set records on judging somebody. I'm really sick and tired of this. This was a thing back in 2020 by someone by the name of Eli Art Block. I don't know if they identify as male or female, actually, because I'm used to Eli and Ellie. I don't know. But, so that's my bad right there, I guess. English is complicated, but when it comes down to this guy right here, Goth Nebula, You Need Serious Help, is this something you really want to tell someone right off the bat in a YouTube video? And you claim you're trying to help them, and you got this laughter going on. So I'm going to start with who may be the least offensive. Because right here, I learned that they're more than likely into Dumbsville. For how long, it doesn't matter. What matters is the context of this video. So, Goth Nebula commentary. Has she improved? Has Goth learned anything from last time? We'll just see. Last time? Dollmaker. These three Dumbsville videos. If I click on this, video unavailable. See, I noticed
helping
something.
You to improve your character's
No. I learned something from watching these type of videos. I'm not going to click on the second or third one, but a lot of people who make these videos, they don't really go back to double check to see if the links work or not. And I'm not saying everybody is guilty for it. No, I noticed that when people make videos like these to quote unquote call out someone, they run from their own content. They don't go to check because they know they're wrong. They know something's not right with what they've done and who they believed in. And it's very concerning. So it boils down to this. We have people who act like we're racehorses. Even horses deserve better, yes. And then when they help to make victims, they don't want to look back at what they did. Then we have the truth we struggle or refuse to identify. We don't know who to trust, and a lot of times we may know, but we want to pick who to trust because of favoritism. And that's terrible. And then we can tell who's doing what, who is wrong, who I'm going to talk about like later on, probably in the next video. And then we don't pay attention to these kinds of victims. Whether they've done something wrong in their lives or not is not like something to, you know, demonetize them from being victims from elsewhere. But why is it that when we have bullies like these, or, you know, unwilling bullies, whoever, and willful ones like Dumbsville, we let them get away to hurt other people? So this person being a Dumbsville fan, at least at the time, it really gets me. So I'm going to start this right now.
Fuck, where's my knife? I know, I used my son's history homework.
Wait. Did he do that? Or did you, Ellie, put this in here? Did you mash this up? Or did that guy use this? Was this necessary? If you did that yourself, is this necessary? Seriously. I don't care that my video is not state of the art or whatever. I'm just pointing out things, pointing out the truth, giving my thoughts and giving out facts. But this type of presentation, what the hell? Are you making fun of Goth Nebula? Or is that his doing?
This is ridiculous!
Easterchu.
G'day, mates. My name is Easterchu, and yes,
Wait a minute. I do not know who you are. If this is Easterchu or this is Eli Art Block, they didn't say. Now, I don't know. I'm looking right now. Is Ellie... Because this is a thing. I don't know if this person is Easterchu or Ellie Art Block. Because they didn't say. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to separate Easterchu and Ellie Art Block in case they're not the same person. For now, at least. If you're not the same person, I do apologize, but please put in context to let us know, because I know sometimes people, when they upload videos, it's a re-upload of someone else, and they're sharing like proof or evidence or basically archiving. So let's do this.
I am using Dollmaker Sprite.
Start this over.
G'day, mates. My name is Easterchu, and yes, I am using Dollmaker Sprites. Because I think it's cute, I want to appear as the artist for a change, and I'm too lazy to draw my own sprites. Sue me. Link to the original Dollmaker down below then. Alright, today I'm going to be talking about an old controversy that's been brought back up recently. We're talking about Goth Nebula. Unlike some people that Goth calls bullies, I'm gonna try and be really calm and at least teach Goth a few things. I don't wish death, nor do I support harassment, but I am gonna try and sound nice. And if I somehow sound really angry mid-video, my apologies. If you want the broad version of this rant, go check out Dumbsville's video.
Easterchu, I know it's 2020, but if you were to look at one of my videos or more of them on Dumbsville in regards to Goth Nebula, you will see there is so much wrong with Dumbsville's video. It doesn't matter how sincere he was trying to sound. Sounding sincere is not the same thing as being sincere, but hey, if you still do this type of stuff, yeah, you should look at it.
He goes through more detail on the situation than what I can. Alright, let's get into this.
I wouldn't be surprised if you gave him way too much credit over yourself, you know? A lot of people seem to do that for so many reasons.
Let's get into this.
Because I'm hot as fuck!
For this part, before...
What? Nebula Raven Emerald. What was that?
Let's get into this.
Because I'm hot as fuck!
Because I'm hard... Wait, what? Because I'm hard as... Wait, how old were you when you made this? What? How old were you when you made this? You definitely sound like a Dumbsville simp. By far. I mean, if I haven't established it already.
For this part, before I can criticize the person of Goth Nebula, I think it's more fair to criticize the character of Nebula. First, the design. I do love the design of Goth's character. The colors complement each other very well, and I love when the blend of dark and light colors were used. However, there is only one problem with it. When I first saw this OC, this character looks more like a chipmunk than a hedgehog, than what it says on his bio, but I'm gonna be reading the bio later on.
Ah, boy, here we go.
Hi, JonTron. Goodbye, JonTron. Because you have only one cameo in this video, I'm guessing.
And this is kind of ironic because Goth doesn't like Sally Acorn. And what's even more weird, I love Sally Acorn. At least she's not demonizing her anymore.
The thing about it, you say it's ironic that she looks like a chipmunk and stuff. The thing is, Sally Acorn is not the only chipmunk in the whole world or the whole universe. And if we're going to talk about Ricky or Sally or when it comes to that character in the Sonic, okay, it's complicated. I don't know. There is a character by the name of Ricky in I guess the games, one of the animals you rescue. That's who Sally is based on. I think they were also called Sally. I don't remember. But my point is, there's nothing wrong with having another chipmunk character, especially a fan-made one. But this is a hedgehog, she says. I'm talking about Goth Nebula. You're saying she looks more like a chipmunk. I'm going to try to, soak it in and give my opinion.
If you want a
Wait, what was that?
hedgehog look, I drew your character with hedgehog quills because the characters that I remember from games, comics, and even TV shows, the hedgehog seem to have short, thick quills. Silver doesn't count because he's from the future and he has godly-like powers.
That's not fair to say. He has quills right here. He's just more unique. His quills are different. It's kind of like Amy Rose modern design. Rosie the Rascal, Amy Rose. Take it or leave it. They call her Amy, but yeah. I'm just being a nerd here. But when it comes to Amy Rose, okay, let's see.
If you want to change your species, that's fine as well.
What about Amy Rose?
You can either change the species to a chipmunk that I just briefly mentioned, or into an echidna, because echidnas have very long and thin quills, so it might match your character aesthetic of wanting to become hedgehog. If you want to change the species just to fit the look, that's completely up to you, Goth. But if you want to stay as a hedgehog, the hedgehog quills that I drew could fit your character's aesthetic.
Is that what you made of her character? Is this of what you made of Nebula? Is that supposed to be fan art or what? Because when we go back all the way over here, oh my god.
G'day, mates! My name is Easterchu, and yes, I am using...
Trying to go back to Amy... Look at this drawing. Doesn't matter if it's fan art. This is basically how Amy Rose looks. Modern Amy. Her quills are down. So what is your point? People, if you want to use an argument and say, oh no, you're wrong, it just will stick up, and look up Amy Rose. Look up modern and classic Amy Rose and compare. Seriously. This is ridiculous. Your point, I can't even say anything right now. But there was something that I wanted to read.
Like Sally Acorn. And what's even more weird, I love Sally Acorn. At least she's not demonizing her.
Okay, I'm going to read this. What made me stop demonizing Sally Acorn? This is Goth Nebula. Sorry about that. Back in 2017, I realized how selfish it is to demonize Sally and my son Amy's stories. because I realized that demonizing characters selfishly can upset those who are fans of them. Creating an argument war on social media can become very deadly, and also rants too. And ever since I opened up my eyes, I did not know how hurtful it is to the Sally Acorn fans or Sonali fans. Demonizing characters can really bring hatred around the world, like an army of hatred spreading all over the websites on the internet like a plague. So now I listen to the detractors and decided to no longer demonize Sally in my stories anymore. Read more. If there's anything else that we could have read more, you might go into it. If you don't, I have this to say to you, Easterchu. Look, I don't fucking care that, hey, you see somebody you don't like, you want to actually make a video on them for whatever reason. You don't do this to appropriate someone and start talking about how their character in public, their character looks freaking inconsistent with the Sonic the Hedgehog design when you see inconsistent designs in the Sonic universe already. I am sorry for that, people. I had to do this again, so here we go.
Anymore. If you want a hedgehog look, I drew your character with hedgehog quills because the characters that I remember from games, comics, and even TV shows, the hedgehog seem to have short, thick quills. Silver doesn't count because he's from the future and he has godly-like powers.
Again, Amy Rose. I get she existed before the modern games. I already know she did. I think she's a manga character, actually. Correct me if I'm wrong. But still.
If you want to change your species, that's fine as well. You can either change the species to A chipmunk that I just briefly mentioned, or into an echidna, because echidnas have very long and thin quills, so it might match your character aesthetic of wanting to become hedgehog. If you want to change the species just to fit the look, that's completely up to you, Goth.
Why don't you say it to Sega, considering they used, I believe, a manga character and had her debut in Sonic CD, and she had quills, but her quills go down in modern stuff. Really, Amy Rose.
But if you want to stay as a hedgehog, the hedgehog quills that I drew could fit your character's aesthetics. Now we got the character design down, let's check out her biography.
You're not gonna talk about Amy Rose. Seriously.
You can find it on her page, so it's not hard to spot. New recording, new aspects. Unscripted. Let's go. Name: Nebula Raven Emerald. Nicknames: Nebs, Miss Emerald. I'm sorry, I didn't know being called Miss or Mrs. or Mr. count as a nickname.
It does. It can. What's wrong with that? Someone could call me, okay, if you play Half-Life, Dumbsville, G-Man calls Gordon Freeman Mr. Freeman, right? Instead of Dr. Freeman. Would that count as a nickname or a profession? Because I'm pretty sure he's a doctor. If you play Half-Life 1 or 2, I played the second one, not the first one, but still.
I think it's a bit more like a title than a nickname, so you don't have to put it there.
If she doesn't really prefer it as such, and if her character doesn't prefer it as a title, someone calls her that, because of their choice, then it's a nickname. Meaning that she accepts it, but it's not her official title.
Shooting star. Wishing star. Creepy. Was that supposed to be there? I think that's a bit more like what bullies call you. Don't put...
Jeez. 346. People, stop nitpicking. Please.
I think that's a bit more like what bullies call you. Don't put that there if that's so-called nickname. Unless you're proud of that nickname. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's her character, and she might have bullies. That's the thing. If you're gonna do a Hashi Improve video properly, don't call it Hashi Improve. You want to talk about Goth Nebula's character, talk about her character, and really just her character, and ask for her permission, and ask her why she put creepy there. Ask her. It's so hard to ask people instead of calling them out, like, wrongfully so, and sitting there acting like you gotta appropriate them.
Age, 18. Gender, female.
Wait. Go back. What did you put? 357.
Go ahead. Age,
Too old for having a romantic interest like Shadow being a clone of Sonic, 16, and Silver being 40. Wait, what? What? Shadow is not a clone of Sonic. If you're talking about in the sense of like being a quote unquote knockoff that Sega made, even though Shadow is not a knockoff really, he's a lookalike, but that's different. If you're talking about concept wise, then I guess. But no, Shadow is developed even more into his own, yeah. But story wise and stuff, Shadow is not a clone of Sonic. He's not. So, and plus, people age up characters. If you would read it, jeez. Fan age exists.
18. Gender, female. Species, hedgehog. Alignment, good. Is this D&D or is it something else?
It's D&D, Easterchu. It's fucking it's I almost say your name again. It's D&D. Because you said so. Sarcasm.
I'm not sure. Style, tomboy and goth. Fur, hair color, blue velvet.
Not blue velvet, blue violet.
No, blue violet.
Okay, never mind. I take that back. You said it.
Sorry. Skin color, peach. Eye color, sky blue. Fighting style, Kirito. Alright, with that martial art, that's a made-up martial art made.
What? G. Okay, I'll let you speak, of course, because I don't know if I've heard of it.
Alright, with that martial art, that's a made-up martial art made by Bruce Lee. I don't think having a made-up martial art as your so-called fighting style is a good thing.
What if she's a Bruce Lee fan like me? What is wrong with that? What is wrong with having a made-up, martial arts style if it's a reference? Unless she didn't know a thing about Bruce Lee. Unless she didn't know anything. But still.
Sorry. And
That's it? That's it? If I was to give constructive criticism to Goth Nebula in terms of having a fictional martial arts style, I would say, like, let's say she didn't know anything about Bruce Lee and she just used it. I would say you should actually do some research on the fictional martial arts style so that way it would be more consistent in your story. Otherwise, you can't just go and say, oh, it's made up. You can't use. That's like me saying, I can't make up a Dragon Ball character and say, oh, he knows how to fight like Jackie Chan, when Goku is not only based on Jackie Chan and Bruce Lee, from what I remember, he's also based on the Monkey King. It's his Japanese name, Son Goku, Son Wukong. It's like that in a way. Like, what's wrong? References. They're not bad. References can be done right, and they have.
Tang Shudo. Believe it or not, that's a real martial art. Okay, I'll let you have that one.
I mean, you didn't create either, so what's the deal?
Outfit. Black Converse shoes. Dark blue jeans. Black t-shirt. White gloves. And black ink-lay gold ring bracelets. Powers. Flight. Energy blast. Super strength. Healing. Wait a minute! Super strength and healing. Those don't sound really okay to me.
They don't sound really okay to you. Is it because of what Dunzo said in his video? Is it because of what he said? Think about it. Are you saying this because of what you think other people would say? Or are you saying it because of how you actually feel? Because that's really the case with so many of you who go after folks and do this whack job of a criticism on people just to attack them.
You can have either one or the other. You cannot have both.
You can have super strength and healing. It really depends on how they conflict with one another. Let's say I made a character with super strength and healing. They still have a weakness. You can still literally have it so that the character is fatigued whenever they use at least 25% of their power. They can literally have like defectiveness. A defectiveness within their abilities that you can list. That's not a Mary Sue right there if that's where you're going. What are you trying to say? Because you're not showing us the story. You're just reading. You're not really investigating. You're sitting there dictating. That's what you're doing. That's one of the reasons why you're up there on the bully list.
And don't take inspiration from Tony Chopper.
Leave Chopper alone.
Weaknesses. Getting kicked or punched in the stomach too hard. I guess everybody else have that weakness. Am I right? So you don't have to put it there, love. You don't have to put it there.
I mean, there are a lot of people that can endure it, though. Let's think about this. Dragon Ball vs. Son Goku. Vegeta. Maybe Goth Nebula can't take that. Nebula, the Hedgehog, can't take that when she gets hit like that. Maybe her endurance level is low. The thing is, instead of making a video like this, you could have straight up asked her. You could have straight up interviewed her. But instead, you did what Dumbsville did, except he did far, far, far worse.
Using too much of her energy buzz can get her tired. Okay, I'll let you have that one. Gets easily distracted when she can't resist the smell of chicken fingers. Gets easily distracted by the smell of chicken fingers. It's short and it's good. Okay? You don't have to extend that into a long paragraph.
I mean, you're different, she's different, we're all different. You didn't have to make this video, right? But for some reason, you quote-unquote felt the need to artificially because Dumbsville.
Kinemortophobia. That's the fear of zombie, kids. And
Okay, what is that supposed to mean? Knuckles is afraid of ghosts, right? I'm afraid of sharks. So yeah.
arachnophobia. That's the fear of spiders, kids.
Why are you doing that? Why? Okay. What was the point of that? Are you jabbing her? Did you know why you did that? Or are you just being Dumbsville? What was the point of that? Easterchu. Were you jabbing Goth Nebula? More like, were you insulting her? Or were you just being random? Because either way, it was unnecessary.
Flaws. Unable to fly in outer space. That's a good one. She's not as fast like Sonic or Shadow. Alright, that's another good one. Able to lift heavy objects with her super strength, but overdoing it too much can make her pass out in exhaustion. Then it's not super strength.
Wait, hold on, what? Ah, jeez. Unable to fly in outer space, she's not a fast running like Sonic or Shadow. Able to lift heavy objects with her super strength, but overdoing it too much can make her pass out in exhaustion.
Then it's not super strength. She is just strong.
That is super strength. Super strength is not the same thing as fatigue and endurance. It's not. It really isn't. Someone says, oh, you're saying endurance is different from super strength. Yes, technically yes. There is only so much you can endure. You can be a glass cannon. Have you not heard of a glass cannon? You can have a lot of strength, but you can have a big open weakness somewhere. There's a difference.
That's all she is. She's strong. She doesn't have super strength, but I guess it's a limitation, so just instead of putting in super strength, just say she's strong.
She has super strength. It's just that her endurance level behind it is a glass cannon. Why didn't you ask her?
Okay? unable to concentrate with her energy blast when she gets scared. Alright? Not fast enough to recover from flight. Alright?
Did you say fight or flight?
She's smart, but not smart like Tails or Eggman. You don't have to put it there, love. Making your character too smart while being super strong makes you sound like Winston from Overwatch.
I mean, here's something I agree with you on. She's smart, but not smart like Tails or Eggman. I would have put that as a trivia and not a flaw. Because it's like you said, she doesn't have to be all super smart and all that. So yeah, I do agree with that right there. So thank you for that, Easterchu.
Her healing powers can heal any injuries except muscle injuries. Then she's useless. Sorry, I just...
Can you read the whole thing before you do that? Jeez!
Her healing powers can heal any injuries except muscle injuries. Then she's useless. Sorry, I just have to point that out.
Seriously, just read the whole thing. May as well, because seriously, just summarize it. Because this happened. You putting this character up here. She's useless. Alright.
Feeling angry triggers her eyes to glow purple.
Okay, why is she useless? Why is she useless? No, why is she? You say it. If it's obvious, then it's also obvious, very obvious, that you didn't have to make this video. Why is she useless? If you're an educator and you're wondering, has she improved, and you're trying to help her improve, explain why it makes Nebula useless. If you're so smart, explain it. Seriously. Explain why.
I don't think that's a flaw. I think that's something she can do.
Feeling angry triggers her eyes to glow purple. You haven't really... Did you read why? It really depends on the context behind what she put. With her feeling angry, triggering her eyes to glow purple. Maybe it's a story thing? You could have literally interviewed her, but then again, you're a Dumbsville simp, so yeah.
You can put her in abilities or just powers. That's all you can do. Personality traits: kind, shy, insightful, confident, brave. Okay, how can you be shy, but yet confident and brave?
I'm gonna let you finish that.
Pick one or the other.
You can have a brave, shy person. Look at Luigi. Luigi has his cowardly moments, but he also has his bravery. Luigi from Mario. Mario's younger brother. Hello? Luigi's Mansion? Not just that, the Mario movie. Well, the Mario movie didn't even come out, but still.
You cannot be confident and brave and yet shy. Unless she's shy on a certain person, then that could work.
Maybe it has to do with the spectrum of it, Like how confident she can be, how shy she can be, how brave she can be. Maybe it's because she can be very shy, yet confident when it comes to certain things. You're making it all one-sided.
Or she was shy in the past and learned to overcome it. But this is not a backstory. This is a bio.
Hey, Easterchu, here's a question for you. What is Nebula's backstory? You didn't show us. You didn't tell us. So how would you know any of this?
We're talking about the character now. Abilities, skills. Hand-to-hand combat. Martial arts. Sorry, aren't those two kind of the same thing? Just...
No, they're not. No, they're not. Hand-to-hand combat. No, they're fucking not. Oh my fucking god.
Martial arts.
Let's just go back to this. This is ridiculous.
Abilities, skills. Hand-to-hand combat. Martial arts. Sorry, aren't those two kind of the same thing? Just thinking.
No, they're not. People can fight dirty hand to hand. People have different ways of fighting hand to hand. Martial arts is, it's its own thing within the hand to hand spectrum. It's like you list one thing that's a branch of hand to hand. Martial arts is a form of hand to hand combat. It's a form of melee combat. But martial arts and hand to hand are not like the same thing. Martial arts goes under the hand to hand umbrella, if not more thoroughly, on a different route of it. How do you not know this if you're that intelligent? You've mocked her, and let's just go.
Artistic. Understanding emotions and feelings. Reasoning. Okay, the reasoning part just confuses me. You don't have to put it there.
She put it there because she's able to reason with folks. A lot of people may not have that type of approach, you know? A character may not have the approach of reasoning with another character, and they could feel like, hey, this is not my jam. I feel like you should talk to someone else. And then Nebula is someone who can be really down to earth and say, hey, you can talk to me. Kind of like Sonic. Sonic can sometimes reason and stuff. Sometimes he's got to go fast, and what are you getting at? She's empathetic.
Quick reflexes. Body language from animals. Okay, that last part don't make much sense.
It could. Maybe she could read how a dog is thinking or behaving, based on body language, based on panting, based on different things. Animals have body languages. They do. Like humans. It's different, but it's not completely different. Like, it depends on the animal, but still. Oh my goodness.
If you can understand the body language of animals, I suggest you get rid of emotions and feelings, because not many people can understand emotions and feelings unless they're psychiatrists.
Maybe she can understand emotions and feelings and body languages even from animals. When I read body language from people, I can understand them very well. Not always, but most of the time I do, because people can be very unique. I can understand body language from animals, and it really depends. I'm not like 100%, but you don't have to be a psychologist or a psychiatrist to understand human emotions and the emotions from animals. You don't have to be.
So, you can keep quick reflexes, martial arts, and artistic. That part can work. And you can also keep understand and just put in body language from animals.
You talk like you're very unsure of yourself. Why did you make this video again?
You don't have to put emotions and feelings, because not many people do.
She doesn't have to put emotions and feelings because not many people understand emotions and feelings. That's probably why she's got it there. Oh my goodness.
Likes.
Sorry, construction outside.
Helping a friend in need.
Likes helping a friend in need.
Saving innocent lives. Drawing. Being alone. Is she an introvert? I don't know.
That doesn't mean she's an introvert. I know you said you don't know. People who are extroverts can enjoy actually being alone and saying, hey, I need time to myself. I want to listen to my jam because I feel like I'm around people too much. And there's other reasons that may not even be personal. Why don't you ask her? An extrovert can definitely enjoy being alone. It depends on their personality. Maybe they're like, hey, I might want to just take a seat back and not talk to someone because I feel like it's too much. I want to be alone. I want to draw, but I still want to talk to people, I want to minimize that. But being alone, I feel like it's my healing spot. It's my fortress of solitude or something like that. Look at Superman. He talks to people. He has like some type of awkwardness to him. Clark Kent, that is, especially. But when it comes to his, both identities and stuff, have you ever thought of Superman? Like when he goes to the Fortress of Solitude, he likes to go there. Maybe he likes to have some alone time. And including Supergirl, Kara, his cousin.
meditate with Silver, spending time with Shadow. I hate to say this, but ew. And I thought she likes being alone. But
That's not the same thing. A character can also alternate. They can say, hey, I want some alone time, but I also like to hang out with these people, you know? I don't like to always be alone. I don't like to always be alone. She didn't say always be alone, did she? No, she didn't. And you go, ew. It's like, okay, why ew?
yet she meditates with Silver and spending time with Shadow. That part I don't understand.
You're one-sided. That's the issue.
Flying around in the city, cute animals, black clothing, teamwork. Isn't that the same thing as helping a friend in need? You can
Not really. It's not.
just either keep one or the other.
Helping a friend in need is not the same thing as teamwork. You're lending a hand. You're leaning on that person. That's not really teamwork unless that person is leaning back on you. It's a different... How do you not know this? If you're being this much of an asshole to her. That's why. That's why I say, because if you're going to be an asshole, why are you contradicting your own assholery by being so illogical?
And for Goth, she has less Goth traits than anything.
How would you know?
Dislikes. Anyone who hurts a person's feelings. I'm sorry. Why put anyone who hurts a person's feelings? Isn't that a bully? And sluts at the end.
I mean, maybe it's a bit out of context when it comes to anyone who hurts someone's feelings and stuff, but you could have asked her at least. I get it, but still. Like, yeah, someone's gonna hurt your feelings and they could do it by accident, but she probably meant people who get a thrill out of hurting other people's feelings. And when it comes to SLUTS, why don't you read the story? That's probably all I have to say about it. I don't know.
You don't have to put it there, love. You really don't have
Please stop calling her love, because you really don't even respect her. At least you didn't right here.
to. Girly girl things, makeup, perverts, guys flirting or harassing.
Guys flirting or harassing. You could have asked her for context. She's been through it herself. Maybe you didn't know that. But see, that's the thing. You listen to Dumbsville. Someone who's not even courageous.
I'm sorry. Aren't perverts and guys flirting or harassing kind of the same thing?
No, it is not. If someone flirts with you, it's not the same thing as harassing you unless they keep flirting with you against your wishes and they keep advancing on you. Then it's harassing. No, it's not under the same umbrella. It could get mixed up, but it's not the same thing.
You can just put perverts and people will know what you're talking about.
Not everybody that flirts with you is a pervert. Not everybody that flirts with you isn't a pervert. It's a mixed bag.
Because from what I can remember, perverts are just guys who flirt.
No, they are not. Perverts are consist of men, women, and non-binary people who look at you in a certain way. Why am I even explaining this? It doesn't matter. A pervert is a straight up person who looks at you very inappropriately, or they look at you in a very sexual way, or it's a spectrum of its own. You don't have to be a man. You don't have to be a woman. You don't have to be non-binary. It could be anyone. It could even be you.
And all this stuff. You don't have to put it there. Sonic and Shadow fighting. Hates being called creepy. Like I said before with nicknames. It's not a nickname that your character could have because it's just a derogatory thing.
What?
Animal abuse.
It's not the same thing. She hates being called creepy. It's like, what was your point? What was your point with that?
Like I said before with nicknames. It's not a nickname that
Oh
your
my
character could
God.
put there. Sonic and Shadow fighting. Hates being called creepy. Like I said before with nicknames. It's not a nickname that your character could have because it's just a derogatory thing.
It's a dislike. She said it's a dislike. That's why it's there. What are you talking about? See, you don't even know what you're talking about. Why even do this? If she listened to everything you said, she would have been literally turned into a stupid zombie because of you. Would you have wanted that? Do you even care? Do you even worry? Do you even worry as to whether or not you helped her? Because that's a flaw that you all have. You folks who go after people, you don't really worry as to whether or not you helped them and how you helped them, how you treated them. You don't.
Animal abuse. Anyone who judges a person by his or her appearance. Okay.
Anyone who judges a person by his or her appearance, there are people who actually exist like that. You know that, right? So, what's the okay for? What happened?
Bugs and spiders. Zombie movies. Don't worry, we'll get to bugs and spider bits in a moment.
Why do you care?
Crush. Shadow. Again. Puke.
Why?
Friends. Sonic and his friends. Okay, isn't that an unnecessary thing to have?
No? Read the story. How is it unnecessary? She's not allowed to have Sonic and his friends as friends?
Just saying.
Just saying.
Enemies. Sonic. Once. Scourge. Eggman. And bad guys. Oh yeah, that old Mary Sue trope. Always been hated by anyone but the bad guy.
What are you talking about? She has Sonic once as an enemy. Sonic once as an enemy. She said Sonic once, Scourge, Eggman, and bad guys. Okay, so what's the point? She didn't say bad guys including Scourge and Eggman. I get the obviously part that might come in, but Eggman is a complicated guy. Robotnik is a complicated guy. And when it comes to Scourge, he's evil Sonic. So, what are you getting at? She hates straight up bad guys, even though her enemy, well, she didn't hate, it says enemies, you see? Oh my god, what are you even talking about?
Everyone loves her but the people that disagrees with her.
I mean, Sonic once went after her. Enemies. She's not saying everybody who disagrees with me is a bad guy. No. She's not saying that. She's saying enemies. She didn't say she hates everybody who is a bad guy because they're against me. No, she says she dislikes bad guys. She dislikes Scourge. She dislikes Eggman. Well, actually, no, it's enemies. People who went up against her. Oh my goodness, you are confusing me.
That's the Mary Sue there.
That's not a Mary Sue because what she said was enemies, Sonic, once, Scourge, Eggman, and bad guys. What do you think she's saying? I dislike bad guys. I dislike bad. Is that what she's saying? No. What she's saying is enemies. It's not the same thing as disliking. Sometimes people are forced to fight people they do not hate. You are a Mary Sue. Dumbsville is a Gary Stu. I can say that much because you all act like you have to be right about everything.
And basically, if you disagree with her, you're the bad guy.
That's not what it says. You have people who play good cop and bad cop. You have cops out there that don't like criminals, but a lot of them don't care to read about the history behind the criminal and how they became a criminal, because a lot of times we're programmed to just hate a criminal or think that every criminal is the same when they're not. But that's not the same thing. It really isn't.
This appearance. Roses Need Love. Story. Chicken fingers. Beers. Spiders. Bugs. And zombies. Both the spiders and bugs. Isn't that, I don't know, entomophobia?
That's right. Entomophobia. Wait. Let me go look at this again. So for you, if your character wasn't in the way, I mean, no.
Isn't that,
Spiders, bugs, okay.
I don't know, entomophobia? And spiders do fit in that category.
Okay, what's the point? What is the point? If it's something that she could call it, why not just let her know? Instead of being a smartass. Because you're not being a good smartass. You could just let someone know instead of letting the whole world know that, oh, Goth Nebula doesn't know this and that. There's so many things you don't know compared to her, compared to me, compared to a whole lot of people compared to me. Because there are things I don't know either. But at least I admit it. At least Goth Nebula admits it. At least a lot of us admit it.
I don't know why you say you have arachnophobia when you also have a fear with other insects.
Maybe because she didn't know the word existed. Why make a big deal out of it?
So I recommend, if you want to change anything, change arachnophobia with entomophobia.
You could have just contacted her on DeviantArt instead of doing any of this.
It's okay. We'll judge. And I'm not going to read the 2 last points because having a theme for your character sounds kind of weird to me.
I mean, you could just read it and let us grasp what you're trying to get at, you know? Why leave us hanging, yeah?
I don't even have a theme for my characters, so I'm going to leave it this recording here. To quickly sum up Nebula, she seemed to be liked by everyone but the bad guys in the Sonic universe.
It had nothing to do with being liked or disliked. It just had to do with enemies. An enemy can like an enemy, and they can like them for the wrong reasons. They can like them for the right reasons. They're like, I'm sorry that we must fight. We're enemies, but I still like you as a friend. There are gray area enemies. Did you ever think about that? You see Sonic and Robotnik fight each other and stuff. They like things about each other. There's Tails who likes things about Robotnik or Eggman, but that doesn't mean they hate each other. Having an enemy doesn't mean you hate the person. It doesn't. It's an alignment thing. It has something to do with a disagreement, yes. It may be to a specific area, specific level, but it doesn't mean you hate that person with a passion all because they're enemies. There's different kinds of enemies.
Sonic doesn't count because she only sees him as a bad guy once.
An enemy is not a bad guy, and a bad guy is not an enemy. When you think about it, a villain can be a protagonist. A good guy could be an antagonist, depending on the story and stuff. It has to do with, like, opposition. Enemies has to do with oppositions. When you think about it, I'm in the United States. Let's use this as an example. When we go to war with someone, we're not always going to be the good guys. It's going to be based on opposition. Not everyone is going to see us as the good guys. Not everyone is going to see the opposing nation as the good guys. But it has to do with opposition. Enemies doesn't always have to do with good guys and bad guys. You're looking at it from one type of standpoint. The gray area exists, people. What the hell?
She has healing powers and super strength at the same time. It sounds dumb to me. So take one or the other. And
I thought this was a video of has she improved, but it's a video of it sounds dumb, therefore she hasn't improved. I bet that's where you're getting at.
so take one or the other and don't take inspiration from Chopper from One Piece.
And just to say this, I know One Piece. I have Pirate Warriors 4 especially, even though I haven't kept up with One Piece technically. But why keep bringing up Chopper? If this video is for, oh, wait a minute. This video is not for Goth Nebula, even if she happened to be a One Piece fan or not. It's for your audience. Has she improved? So you decided to make a video for little Dumbsville, your Jedi Master, and then tell the rest of the world, hey, Goth Nebula, has she improved? Let's find out. Wow, bravo.
And the healing pump makes her sound like a nurse than a healer. Looks like she is more useless than Sakura from Naruto.
No, you can be, okay, if you played Injustice 1 and 2, they've had, I think they had a gadget user and a power user. A healer can fight. If anyone has played Mega Man Battle Network, Mega Man Battle Network 5 that is, Team Proto Man or Team Colonel, in one of the versions you can play as this original NetNavi character, because a lot of them are based on the classic characters, but this original NetNavi character named Medi, she is like, I think if I remember correctly, she's a healer type NetNavi. And when it comes to role, basically the Battle Network role, she has healing properties too, but she can fight. So what is your point? The NetNavi version of Roll can fight, despite she's a healer. You have the White Mage, if I said it right, from the Final Fantasy games, who can heal and can fight. What is your point?
She is shy but brave. This won't work. How can you be shy but brave? Unless she learns to overcome her shyness over time like Fluttershy, that could work. But this is a bio. These two things shouldn't be there.
It's a bio. What you should be doing is going into context, or at least asking her questions. Again, Luigi.
Unless she is shy on one character in particular, please mention that. I would like to know.
Then talk to her instead of making a video like this. You know what? I'm going to take a little break because I feel a little sick from this. Almost tripped. Be right back. I'm going to put in a little timestamp between now and then. back. Now, I know that there's editing tools and whatnot when it comes to trimming and stuff. It's just that I am pressed for time, and I'm not really up there when it comes to some type of editing mechanics. Then, too, I'm trying to get the truth out, and then I'm trying to get my opinions in there, and I'm trying to see where people are coming from. So I'm not trying to be picture perfect or video perfect with this, but seriously, when people make videos like these, it makes my stomach crawl. It makes my head hurt at times, depending on who it is, because we have bigger problems. We have bigger problems in the world, and seriously, this is why you're up here. We are not horses, we are humans. This is what Sung Gi-hun said in Season 3 of Squid Game. We're not people that you can just bet on and say whatever the hell you want and laugh at, because at the end of the day, you're also pawns. You're pawns in your own stupidity or ignorance, whichever. It's not really the same thing, but still. And look at what you're doing. You're judging another human being in front of your own fans. Let's do this.
As a goth, I see less goth traits and more tomboy traits than anything.
You're not the only goth on the planet. You really aren't. Goths are different. Tomboys, they vary. Goths vary. People vary. Let's do this again.
These two things shouldn't be there. Unless she is shy on one character in particular, please mention that.
Then talk to her. She's not going to listen to you. And she already didn't.
I would like to know. As a goth, I see less goth traits and more tomboy traits than anything. Being goth isn't just looking the part, it's a lifestyle. They are obsessed with dark things like death and the supernatural. If you want to be more goth, I recommend you can check out a channel called Lair of Voltaire. He does gothic homemaking, music, and vlogs. This could help you understand what being goth is like.
What if you just talk to her and understand what it's like to be Nebula? Did you ask her why she's goth? And there's Goth Nebula. It's in her username. Did you think to ask her, how old were you when you made this video?
The subjective I've said are more about what you should put in your bio, not what goth did.
Hey, Boom Slayer, and all you Sonic 93 haters out there. You see what she did? She kept using should. She kept using should on Goth Nebula. Well, excuse me, they. Because I don't know your gender. They kept using, oh my goodness, this is ridiculous. You're using should so many times, and you folks treat Sonic 93 and Goth Nebula like they're nothing.
Even if your character isn't the most powerful being in the world, your personality, behavior, and fact that character is liked by everyone but the bad guy.
That's not what she said. She said enemies. Not everybody who dislikes you is an enemy. Did you ever think about that? Did you ever think that she didn't say, oh, Squidward or this person or that person, they're an enemy because they don't like me? It's not that. Notice that she didn't say, oh, everybody likes me. She could have said Antoine. She could have said Bunny Rabbi. She could have said the good version of Robotnik / Eggman. Well, at least when we're talking about Julian, that incarnation of him. She could have said Dr. Ovi Kinobor or Julian Kintabor. She could have said everybody who's not a bad guy. But she didn't say everybody who's not a bad guy likes me. She didn't say that.
It is not good character writing. That's Mary Sue writing.
That's not a Mary Sue, what she put up there. What you're describing is a Mary Sue. What you're talking about is not a Mary Sue. You're talking about two completely different types of characters. You're talking about Goth Nebula, who isn't a Mary Sue. Well, Nebula the Hedgehog, who isn't a Mary Sue. And you're talking about a character who isn't Nebula the Hedgehog as a Mary Sue. You're talking about a template. You're mixing them up.
Take my character Easterchu at this point. She is a crossover OC, but there are some things in her bio that make her less Mary Sue.
Like what?
She has the same strengths, abilities, weaknesses, and features as Pikachu.
I don't know who that is.
Other than that, her personality is funny, childish, nice, stubborn, artistic, and sometimes protective of certain people.
You know, it kind of sounds similar to Goth Nebula, except she's not. I mean, Nebula the Hedgehog, except she's not. They're not the same character. So, what is your point?
Including her friend. She is sometimes protective of her own feelings, including others. That's a character. That shows she has more flaws that can make her feel like someone we know or you can relate to.
You mean like Nebula the Hedgehog? Because I can relate to Nebula the Hedgehog and I can relate to your character. Yes, I just said that. But the thing is, you're not making a good example of how her character is a quote-unquote Mary Sue and yours isn't. The thing is, I could believe that your character is not a Mary Sue, but at the same time, you're wasting all this damn time not even showing us what... Well, actually, let's see if you even show us.
And I don't put out that her enemies are the bad guys.
I mean, you don't have to. You don't have to. She doesn't like bad guys. She doesn't like guys that are really bad. She didn't specify who all the bad guys were. She didn't. There are a whole bunch of people who say they don't like bad guys. There are a whole bunch of folks that say they don't like bad gals or bad guys. You got girls who say, I like bad guys. You got girls who say, I don't like bad guys. You got guys who say, I don't like bad gals or bad guys or whatever. Why don't you tell them this? Did you ever think to tell police officers this? So you know what? Every police officer who says they don't like bad guys is basically a Gary Stu or a Mary Sue. You may as well say that. Because the context isn't there. It's a gray area thing.
King Easterchu, not a Mary Sue. If you want to keep the so-called Mary Sue like...
Oh my god, what are you rambling about? Seriously.
Bad guys, making Easterchu not a Mary Sue. If you want to keep the so-called Mary Sue-like trait, you can, as long as there's a personality that fits.
Gee, I don't know, because you don't go into the story. You're just going by a list in her bio. And that snarky, sharp-fanged grin you have? Oh my god, you made me think of one of those Kirby enemies. Or rather, those Shantae enemies, those bats that fly around. Okay, jabbing aside. That was me jabbing myself, jabbing you. But regardless.
For example, Saitama from One Punch Man.
Don't use Saitama!
He can destroy enemies with one punch, but he trained so hard to achieve that and later got bored over time. He lost all of his hair achieving that said goal and can get angry if you call him bold. We even see him get stressed at times over certain aspects of his life. That's good character writing.
I agree. Even though I have never straight up watched or even started watching One Punch Man, I like things about Saitama a lot. I actually love the character. I'm just not clingy to him, basically. But don't use him in this situation. The guy is OP'd as enough. I don't consider him a Gary Stu, but still, he's so OP'd, it's like, why even compare him? Joking aside.
Another example is Superman.
Never mind.
He has super strength. He can fly. His eyes can shoot out lasers and have X-ray vision. But his weakness is that he has a moral compass. He can't go near kryptonite as it drains his powers. Magic can give him some problems as well. His identity can be detected by anyone. He needs the Earth's suns to recharge, and he can't see through lead. These weaknesses for overpowered characters, including their personalities, can make them feel more rounded, three-dimensional, and fun. We can even feel their struggles and determination to continue fighting, knowing they could or will win. Then we have the journal entry that Nebula put out, saying how she...
If you put that, I already paused anyway. What makes Wait, did you even go through... okay, yeah, you did. What makes Nebula the Hedgehog not a Mary Sue? Number 1, she has healing powers to heal everything, but she cannot heal dead bodies, muscle injuries, or dislocated joints. She also cannot heal herself from aging. 2, she is brave to fight, but she also has fears that she cannot overcome. Kinemortophobia, I can't pronounce it, I'm sorry, and arachnophobia. Number 3, she can fly whenever she wants, but she can exhaust herself from flying too much. Again, with this stuff, you could have just talked to her, asked her what she meant, and you know, provided constructive criticism. There's nothing wrong with giving Goth Nebula constructive criticism and stuff, but what you're giving, at least most of the time, it's not constructive criticism. It's like you're basically rehashing what applies to other characters and trying to apply it on her for views. Things that don't work. So anyone who sees this, I wish I can just, well, you can pause this on your own time.
He is not a Mary Sue. To wrap this up, Nebula has a character idea, but it seems to make her one-dimensional, overpowered, and boring. Maybe if she pays attention to criticism, she will get better over time.
If you would just talk to her, if that were the case, and see where she was really coming from, and if you gave her constructive criticism there, instead of making this video to broadcast to everybody, then she probably would have listened to you. But a lot of what you said is not credible because you're just mixing things up for the most part. I'm not saying nothing you say is valid. No. There's some points you make, but for the most part, a lot of them aren't points. A lot of them are what Dumbsville has said and what you're just rehashing.
Let's go on to her art next.
Paint me like one of your French boys. Paint me.
From the art I've seen,
No comment with that. It's whatever.
she is very talented in traditional drawing. I like the use of paint and pencils. I remember using pencils and pens to draw my art, but sadly, that's the only thing I think she's good at. Her digital art is either 2D or just trace.
Hey, Amy, who is a hedgehog? You know? Yeah, Easterchu. You're not going to talk about how Amy Rose is a hedgehog, but has her quills down. You know? Like how Goth has her quills in a ponytail? Yeah?
I would recommend you step more.
Right here. But anywho, going back. Look, see? Quills down, right here. Goth Nebula's character right here.
D or just trace. I would recommend you step more away from tracing.
How are you not complaining about Amy Rose looking quote-unquote less like a hedgehog, you know, based on your logic, versus Nebula the Hedgehog? I don't have a problem with Amy Rose. I don't have a problem with her modern look. I don't. I'm just saying, by your logic, based on your logic, you could say the same thing about Amy Rose, but you don't. You're nitpicking. That's what you're doing, Easterchu. You complain about Nebula looking less like a hedgehog, but not Amy Rose. Is it because he's a Sega character, an official character? What?
I do trace, but it's more to get the proportions down and get used to the anatomy.
Wait, what? Oh my god, this is a roller coaster.
I think she's good at. Her digital art is either too 2D or just trace. I would recommend you step more away from tracing. I do trace, but it's more to get the proportions down and get used to the anatomy.
How do you know what her reason is and stuff and what she does? How do you know? Why didn't you just talk to her? And if you know, then what is the whole big issue? She's been getting better from what I've seen too. I'm going to show that in the next video. But seriously, you do not give her enough credit.
The way Goth did is repetitive and some of them uncreative.
You know what's also repetitive? South Park, and I love it. The art style for South Park is repetitive, right? Whatever they use, cutouts, whatever. You don't want to talk about that, do you? If you don't watch South Park, hey, maybe that's why. I don't blame you for it, because there's controversial stuff in there. But I would not doubt that. I would not deny it. But still, there's things I like about it still. There's so much that you don't even talk about, that you leave out, that other people do.
But the digital part, the way she shades doesn't look good. Look at the shading at the Sonic redraw pit.
I don't care. She draws better than me, especially. And even if it wasn't a comparison thing, she draws fine. Oh, she has no shades right here. It's art. Art is not one thing. Art is abstract. Art has different forms.
The laser points look like sticks. The glowing parts on...
Let me do this again. This is ridiculous.
Digital part, the way she shades doesn't look good. Look at the shading at the Sonic redraw picture. The laser points look like sticks. The glowing parts on his quills are just scribbled on, and the shadows look so wrong.
Here's what I'm gonna say. As someone who could probably draw this, but not as good, people have different ways of drawing a character that they love, especially, or drawing laser points. I can't even really draw laser points. The way she has done it and stuff, like if I knew how she did it, I could take notes. But this actually inspires me for someone who doesn't really draw I can't even draw laser points very well. At least if I try, maybe. But what are you getting at? What is it? Why are you constantly nitpicking? That's all you've been mostly doing in this video. Nitpicking her art, nitpicking her character, nitpicking her.
Look at the original picture and see how the background and the shadow parts combine with the lighting, giving it a tense and subtle look.
Because it's the original. Because it's the original. Maybe she was giving it a go. What's the point? You know, pardon the point, laser point? Yeah.
What Goth could change is to make her laser lines transparent, make more of Sonic darker, and give more blend in her colors.
What technique? What technique would you suggest? How do you suggest it? By going to the audience and saying, hey, look, folks, Goth Nebula tried to emulate what the movie Sonic had and stuff and didn't do a good job, and it's cringy. Seriously.
Look at my Sailor Moon redraw.
No offense. If I have to go and say it, your eye is budging out. I mean, her eye is budging out. And you look like you try too hard. And your hair, yeah, it doesn't look like it's resting on her shoulder. Yeah, this part is. I have to say, your art is seriously, if anything, comparable to Nebula the Hedgehog. I mean, not Nebula the Hedgehog, Goth Nebula's version of movie Sonic. Whereas, there's nothing really wrong with it. But at the same time, if you got to go by your logic, you have flaws here too that are worth pointing out. If you're gonna be nitpicky on Goth Nebula, your eye is pretty big. It doesn't bother me though. It doesn't. Her drawing doesn't bother me either. Why are you making an issue out of her work? Look at how you drew this. I'm just saying.
I may put Easterchu instead of Sailor Moon, but you can see in the background blended over so slightly, and the shadows of the character match the direction of the light source.
Where's the original? Where's the original?
Does have...
Is that your reaction? Sorry, I don't have the original face. Let's see. Oh my freaking god. Where's the freaking original? I like both your drawings, literally. There's technically nothing wrong with it. But if you want to get all serious and by your logic, you have your eye bulging out of like your version of Sailor Moon with your character.
Goth does have the idea on how it works, but at the same time can't digitally draw. I do believe she has talent and I want her to improve. But this next part is more concerning.
Listen, it ain't about what you want in her or the next person in terms of improving. Goth Nebula improves as Goth Nebula. You worry about yourself when it comes to improving.
You know what that sound means in Russia, Vern?
Is this even appropriate? I mean, given that my brain cells are, they're jumping ship right now when it comes to your video. Not Goth Nebula, you. You, Easterchu. You're doing what Dumbsville did. Finding a pass to say things you want to say, to vent, and, get more, people in your audience. It's disturbing me.
Empty.
Goth Nebula is known to not take criticism. In the past, from what I can recall, anyone who gives her advice was bullies or harassers, and she sent her fans to harass them.
No, she didn't. I'm really sick and tired of this narrative, because first of all, where is your fucking evidence? Second of all, she hasn't called every single person a bully for trying to criticize her. So she has not. There were literally people who went after her that were bullying her. Look at my links when you get a chance.
That time again. That time when Papa Dumbsville makes a brand new video that gets completely dislike bombed by a bunch of white knights. Every morning I wake up, I always just say to myself, man, I sure do hope a bunch of white knights dislike my video.
Boy, I sure wonder what old Dumbsville Dorf is up to. Where is the audience? The audience. Where is the evidence? Where are the names? Showing Dumbsville and having the almighty Lego Jesus speak is not evidence. That's hearsay. Where are the names of these people? Where are the names, Easterchu? You showed evidence of Goth Nebula speaking her words in regards to her character, how she is and stuff, based on basically how Nebula the character is, what she's saying, and you covering up what's actually in front of us with your interpretation of Nebula, and then you don't even show the names or the pictures of people harassing folks because of quote-unquote Goth Nebula?
Isn't that just fun? Hi, I'm CIA. Now, before I become nice guy Dumbsville, let me just brag about this one sec. Please, Goth Nebula, just give me 1 second. Just one little moment to just brag about one thing. I told you so! In my first video, I said this. Instead of Goth Nebula, say, trying to improve herself, instead, she takes all her criticism and puts them out on the internet and just goes, oh, these guys guys are criticizing me. Can you guys please cyberbully them? And this time was barely any different. If anything, it proves me right, actually. Goth.
You didn't show it. He didn't show it. He did not show the whole "I told you so" thing. He didn't show it just. What is this? Okay, I have evidence that Goth Nebula is a cyberbully. The next person says it. Okay, Goth Nebula, you cyberbully people. Goes to "I told you so." I told you this. This is how she cyberbully people. Goes to the next person. Goth Nebula cyber. Okay, it's like news channel people saying the same thing over and over and over, and it's like, and this is why we have evidence. No, it's not. That's just a bunch of you idiots saying the same thing without even showing the evidence.
Goth Nebula posted her magnum opus journal, "My Good Mood Just Got Ruined."
Let us read this. Easterchu, if you're still around, let's read this. My good mood just got ruined. My good mood just got ruined when I found this on YouTube. This was uploaded 2 days ago. I don't want to know, but this is probably from someone ranting about me. I'm not asking for sympathy. She says she's not asking for sympathy. Then she says, but I need someone to reason with this person. Hashtag, reason with this person without causing. Hashtag, without causing an argument. Without causing an argument. And now I'm just not in a good mood today when I saw this. So you know already she was not for people harassing Dumbsville or anyone if it ever happened. If it ever happened. Because the thing is, y'all just said, oh, she cyberbullied, or she sent people to cyber. She didn't send people to do it. If you read this, basically, Dumbsville and Easterchu, if you claim that she sent people, you're basically calling yourselves dumb for not even reading this right. And I'm just not in a good mood today when I saw this.
Which is literally like a paragraph long. It's really short. And then she posts a link to my video, which would have totally helped your fans to not start an argument with me, right?
She posted the link because she didn't want to spread hearsay. Let me ask you something, Dumbsville and Easterchu. Would you have rather that she posted nothing and just said basically what she said? Like, I'm in a good mood. I mean, I'm not in a good mood because of this person. And then people just step in blind? Or would you have rather that she basically did what she did? Post the link so people can see what you're about and what you did, and if it lines up with what she said. Huh?
But uh-oh, actually, it did. Now, of course, those numbers are outdated, but still. Goth Nebula, I really hate how angry I seem to be right now.
Dumbsville, you weren't even angry with her to begin with. You were cringy, you were thirsty.
I really do. And I'm really sorry for any damage that I potentially caused.
I'm really sorry for any damage I potentially caused. No, you're not. Because you would have told people off big time. You would have made a video focus on what damage you potentially caused on Goth Nebula and said, folks, listen to Dumbsville. This is not right. You went after her. I told you not to do it. You did it anyway. You made her feel upset. And that's not what I was aiming for. You didn't do it. You made excuses behind what you did. That's what you did, Dumbsville.
But was it really a wise decision to post a journal to your fans about me? Was it?
Yes, because if she had no one to talk to, then she would have broken down. She felt how she felt because you made her feel that way. Because you bullied her. You ego boasted, and then you hid behind your fans. You know, like a certain guy in office right now.
Is it smart to post a link to my video so your fans could go to it and comment on it? What made you think that posting a link to my video in your public journal would result in a drama-free conclusion?
It's not that it made her think it would. It was more of she was seeking. She was seeking some type of result that could just put it to rest. She wasn't thinking it, but hoping like it could just bring peace. And seriously, if she didn't try, anything could have happened. Someone could have blindly come up to you and harassed you, Dumbsville, for any reason. And that's not really what happened, is it?
Not only that, but you didn't respond to any of my points given.
The thing is, she didn't have to. She didn't want to be bothered by you. You kept bothering her. 3 videos? How many? And you let people harass her even though you called someone out, if not another. You did not read what they said and did, so you basically excused them at the same time. So yeah.
You didn't try to improve. You didn't acknowledge that you tried to improve.
You didn't try to improve. You didn't try to acknowledge that you didn't improve. 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 Dumbsville, how the fuck do you even look at yourself right now? You and Easterchu. You're the dream team. You can make people improve around the world. But you can't. No, you can't. You can't. Because all this war that we've had to deal with throughout the years, even before we were all born, did you do a damn thing about it? Did you do a damn thing about Israel and Iran butting heads and stuff, regardless of who started it? Did you do a damn thing to help them to come together with all this macho-ness? No, you fucking didn't. You didn't try to bring peace for both sides. You didn't try to do that. You're so worried about Goth Nebula. You didn't think about the people who have COVID? You didn't ask if Goth Nebula had COVID? You didn't ask if either of you had COVID? You didn't focus on that. You focused on using her as bait.
There was nothing. It was like Seinfeld.
Now, let's read what she had to say in 2020.
No. Tell me what you gotta say about Dumbsville. It's like Exhibit A, and then belch and move on. I don't like that demographic that you harassers have. I really fucking don't. You don't even look sure yourself right here. You know what's funny, Easterchu? I have the same face that your character has right here. Except I'm looking dead at you.
I am gonna be apologizing.
What the hell? And that person's wearing a cap? Deke move, Goth. You don't have to agree with Dumbsville, but leave this autistic person out of it. Why is it not okay to Chris? The reason why she brought this person up, Michaela Reigns. I'm going to talk about Michaela Reigns. This is not the same person she was talking about. At least I don't think so.
For the Valley Girl voice in this one because I don't know what voice to give Goth Nebula.
Michael, Black Lives Matters. Michael is here. Let me tell you something, dude. I'm also African American, a third of Native American, but I don't go ego boasting like you. I'm not saying everybody does this, but I notice when you especially do something like this, you're looking for some type of attention. Did you even look into why she mentioned a person with autism? No, you didn't. It's because she was being harassed. She was being harassed, Michael. But you had the gall to do something like this, right? You people are just so blindsided that you'll say anything to your heart's content, and you take a shit like a pigeon and you fly away and you never look back because you're so fucking afraid. You're macho. You think you're superior. So the next time you do something like this, if you even go after her and I catch you, I'm going to call you out again.
Here's why it's not okay to criticize people who can't improve.
Whoa. Easterchu. Right here. This is why you're here. You're mocking her. You don't care about her feelings. Oh yeah, I do mock people, but bullies. Yeah, and I also admit it, and because bullies, but I still admit it. Because I mock people who mock victims. That's why. You're mocking a victim. That's why. So let's go back and see how you auditioned for this part.
It's why it's not okay to criticize people who can't improve or try hard. 1. We don't know anyone who has mental issues. 2. We don't know if that person is struggling from abuse or suicidal thoughts. 3. There are serious consequences of what can happen if criticizing a person too much can lead to them to insanity.
You're losing speed. You're losing altitude, Easterchu. See what I did there?
If that person can't improve, don't pressure them or spread gossip because you don't know if that person will become insane or very suicidal.
I just heard a Formula 1 race car in your background. Actually, no, I didn't. It's just a car, but whatever. Pardon the joke and the pun.
Honey, how can criticizing you, in fact constructively, shows that we don't care about your feelings? We gossip because you don't.
So how can that happen? Well, when it comes down to her, she's saying there are serious consequences of what can happen. If criticizing a person too much can lead them to insanity. If a person can't improve, don't pressure them or spread gossip because you don't know if that person will become insane or very suicidal. Basically, if you're putting a lot of pressure on somebody and you're floating around like a bunch of Force ghosts from Star Wars saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over with different videos, like people who came after my friend Root/593 and saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over and over, you're gonna break that person. You can only take so much. And then there comes your reasons behind doing it. And you have malintent reasons for what you're doing right here, Easterchu. The way you're reading what she's saying, you're gaslighting her, like Dumbsville did, like Minnie did.
I don't know if that person will become insane or very suicidal. Honey, how can criticizing you, in fact constructively, shows that we don't care about your feelings?
Because you're mocking her, first of all. Second of all, you didn't bother. 23-28. You didn't bother telling Michael to stay out of it. And you brought Michael in, rather. You basically weaponized Michael from Black Lives Matter to get a freebie out of him. So, I'm going to be a little more, I guess, reasonable towards Michael and a more, a bit critique towards you because you used Michael to go after her. You did. How do you feel? So you need to do all of this just to say, oh, we're right and you're wrong. Did she ask for your criticism? No, she didn't. And even if you really need to give her constructive criticism for her safety or for anything, you don't make a video to mock her and to sit there and gaslight her and use Dumbsville, someone who also bullied her. You don't do this shit. You would have clarified. You would have clarified towards Michael. But instead, you let this jabroni go at her and you used his macho-ness, as evidence as your own stupidity. 23-38. I don't even fucking know where I left. 20. This is ridiculous.
Deciding you, in fact constructively, shows that we don't care about your feelings. We just want you to improve, not
It ain't about what you fucking want.
to cause self-harm. And second, you spread gossip yourself.
Ridiculous lies. Ever since I joined Twitter, Nicole is getting on my nerves, but I refuse because I know she'll never change and I know what lies, false suicides, and complaints. When someone is, Nicole's ridiculous blocking, art thief, and a stalker. Okay, this guy has an unhealthy obsession of sexy and badass female characters wearing leather outfits, and he has been nagging me nonstop since 2013 on fanfiction.net. He has no respect for girls like me, and he doesn't know for an answer. He doesn't take no for an answer. I don't know why he's like this, but this type of behavior from him needs to stop. From what I see, he hasn't changed at all for 7. Read more. This is not gossip. This is her experience. She's referring to a former friend of hers, and she's referring to someone who harassed her. You know that, right? You do know that, right? This is not gossip. This is her personal experience. There is a major difference. You gaslit her, Easterchu.
Also, it's not okay to laugh at someone who has serious condition. How can you feel if you were in their condition and you got laughed at?
You're mocking her, Easterchu. So that includes you too doing it.
It doesn't feel good, doesn't it? Bullying is not fun at all because it makes them a monster, and monsters are lonely and nobody wants to be around them.
Well, in that logic, nobody wants to be around you because you spread gossip about people.
No, she fucking didn't. She showed her personal experience. She was talking about what she went through. That's not the same thing. You don't even know her. Seriously, stop this. You're doing what Dumbsville did. You're making blatant false claims. And for what?
But I can understand why you do that. Because these people are actually mean. I've read some of them. But the factor is, you think all criticism is bad and you still spread them.
I am confused. Because you admit that they are mean. That some of them are mean. You do. And yet you're doing it yourself. And I can see why. Because in some cases you may not know it. But in a lot of cases you're like, have at it. So it's like, I think what's going on here, Easterchu, is that you're trying to remain loyal to Dumbsville. And he puts you up to it. But that still makes you a bully. It makes you an unwillful bully, but still a bully nonetheless.
Ever heard the old saying of getting the taste of your own medicine?
Yes, and she never prescribed it either. So yeah, and nor did she prescribe for it. This is a different situation. She's not a bully herself.
This means the reverse. Also, there's a true story about a young...
Wait. Was that... Have you ever... How would you feel... Oh, this is what... Sorry, Goth. This is what you said. This is what you said. I thought this is what Easterchu was saying. No, Easterchu was just reading... But yeah, you're right about this. You're right about this. Sorry about that. Yeah, fell on me. I thought this is what Easterchu was saying out of her own mouth. Because of the mocking voice.
Young person who is also autistic like me and was emotionally hurt and hated by a person who seriously hates autism because she thinks autisms are evil.
I wish you didn't read like this. It's the way Amy-chan read Yoshi One's what Yoshi One said on DeviantArt when he was doing a lot wrong, but it's like the mocking part, all that. But the modulator was just so ridiculous and stuff. And that's, you know, a lot of people threw Sonic Knight 3 under the bus over what Amy-chan did. And then people threw them both under the bus when they had literally a Yoshi 1 victim that was talking about her experience and stuff. And then people weaponized the Yoshi 1 victim against Sonic Knight 3 and Amy-chan. It's just fucking ridiculous.
Oh. That's cyber...
Hold on, what?
Was emotionally hurt and hated by a person who seriously hates autism because she thinks autisms are evil. That's cyberbullying.
No, it's fucking not.
That's not criticism. Constructive criticism helps you. It doesn't hurt.
No, 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 no. You got it wrong. How? Wait, wait, wait. What are you even saying? Also, there's a true story about a young person who was also autistic like me. Oh, you're talking about this? This is why I get confused. Because, yes, also there's a true story about a young person who was also autistic like me, and she was emotionally hurt and hated by a person who seriously hates autism because she thinks autism are evil. I thought you were accusing Goth Nebula of cyberbullying again. That's why I said that. But no, you're talking about what she wrote right here. Again, you mocking her confuses me. But yeah, this is cyberbullying. But Goth Nebula was also cyberbullied. And you're cyberbullying her by pretending not to cyberbully her. Does that make sense, Easterchu? Yeah,
Well,
it does. You don't want it.
That's cyberbullying. That's not criticism. Constructive criticism helps you. It doesn't hurt you.
Constructive criticism, yes, it can help people. But if you view it as such, and you don't see that as hurting them, then maybe you're not giving constructive criticism. You're giving blind, hurtful criticism. Criticism that is unnecessary, that is unneeded. It's like giving somebody the wrong medicine. You say that the medicine is supposed to help them, but it's not always going to help them. Medicine can have side effects. Criticism can have side effects. And sometimes it's just the wrong kind of criticism and the wrong kind of medication that could really fuck up somebody. That's what you're doing right now.
There's a reason why. In my younger...
Why didn't you just read that? Oh my freaking god. Why don't take advice or ideas?
There's a reason
May 1st, 2020.
why. In my younger years at school, I was lonely, shy, and mostly bullied because I had a disability.
Why do you fucking keep reading her like that?
I choose to remain solitude in real life so I don't get emotionally hurt again. Love, I've been in your shoes. I'm disabled. I've been bullied because I'm disabled.
So why do you read her like that?
The difference between you and me, I was physically hurt.
Oh my fucking god. Do you even know her entire life? Do you even know her entire life? Here's what she said. Here's the reason why. In my younger years at school, I was lonely, shy, and mostly bullied because I had a disability. And I chose to remain solitude in real life so I don't get emotionally hurt again. You're basically saying that, oh, it shouldn't be a big deal because I was physically hurt, whereas you were emotionally hurt. Oh my god. Whether you are emotionally abused or physically abused or mentally abused, it hurts. It hurts. No matter what. Why are you acting superior to Goth Nebula?
Because I'm an easy target. I actually walk home with bruises on my chest.
Let me tell you something, Easterchu. I've been verbally, physically, emotionally, mentally abused growing up in my family, even outside of my family. Do I dare sit there and act like I'm superior to you? No. Do I dare bring this up to tell you, oh, you didn't go through this. No, that's nothing compared to what. No, I don't. I sympathize with whatever you and Goth Nebula went through. I do sympathize with you. But what you're doing is throwing Goth Nebula under the bus and try to use as a reason, oh, suck it up. Oh, suck it up because you had emotional abuse. I had it worse. I don't like that. You and Dumbsville are just... No, I'm just going to hold it back right now.
Because of bullying. And I didn't say it to anyone because every time I tried to talk to somebody about this, they just say, it's outside of school grounds, so there's nothing much we can do about it.
But you see, this is all the more good reason for you to go talk to her. Or it was. Instead of doing this shit. Instead of mocking her. Because I tell you this. I'm also someone who was sexually assaulted by another kid way back in kindergarten. But you don't see me rubbing this in your face. This is all the more good reason for us to talk to each other instead of making videos like these and acting like we're better than people.
So don't say them bullying you because of your disability.
You don't have it. You don't have it thought out. You don't have it thought out. I'm gonna let you finish, but you don't have it thought out what you want to say because you know it's not something you need to say. You're not so sure. You're just going word for word, literally trying to improvise what to say against her.
Nothing much we can do about it. So don't say them bullying you because of your disability doesn't give you the right to not take criticism, at least constructive criticism. And by the time I was ready to jump,
Let me play that again because I'm just literally trying to understand what you're telling her not to do. So don't do what?
so don't say them bullying you
So don't say them bullying you.
because of your disability doesn't give you the right to not take criticism.
Listen, someone who says, I can't really take criticism, if that is what she is blatantly saying right here, because she can actually mix up words because of what she went through. She probably meant like, I don't know whether I can because it's too much for me. When people, they give me the reason of not trusting them. I have problems trusting people who try to give me criticism because I don't know who is giving me real criticism and who isn't. Don't tell her in an authoritarian way to not accept it. I mean, that's not what I meant. Don't tell her in an authoritarian way to say something like that because that's how she feels. She feels hurt by it, by the bullying and stuff, by people using like, hey, can I come in here? Like an invasion of the body snatchers, and then they pretend that they're giving you criticism, and then they attack you. They beat you to the ground. That's what they're doing to her.
It's outside of school grounds, so there's nothing much we can do about it. So don't say them bullying you because of your disability doesn't give you the right to not take criticism, at least constructive criticism. And by the time I was ready to join DeviantArt and other sites, some gave me ideas and advice, but I never realized that some don't try to write stories in their own. So I learned to write my own stories instead of taking someone's ideas. You can still criticize somebody even though you don't have the ability to write. It's okay for some people to criticize your work. Doesn't mean they don't know what they're talking about.
It does, and it can. Because the way you criticize somebody is not just one thing, it's not just one way. The way you come across, again, it's like medication. Someone tells you for your mental or physical health, this medicine is supposed to work. It's supposed to work. Yeah, it's quote unquote supposed to help you, but our bodies, our minds are different. It's not always going to help you. Sometimes it's going to break you. And sometimes that medication could just be flat out bad. You may think it was made to help someone, but the ingredients are just fucked up and they're wrong.
Heck, I have some people who ask me to use Audacity, even though I'm still am, and they never made a video in their life. So what's the harm in actually taking criticism from people who don't write stories?
Because a lot of times they don't bother even reading the story. They don't even bother trying to get to know you. They don't bother trying to get to know the demographic, yet they claim they know you. They claim they know the story. And then when people actually read the story, it's completely different, or a lot of times different from what they say about the artist or writer. And that's a problem.
Criticism is another reason why I don't listen, because there's a difference between constructive criticism and flat out criticism.
Aren't they technically the same thing?
Let me go do this again just to see.
People who don't write stories.
Criticism is another reason why I don't listen, because there's a difference between constructive criticism and flat out criticism.
Aren't they technically the same thing?
I would probably try to do a Google search on constructive criticism and flat out criticism. You can be a horrible critic. You could be somebody who is just tossing criticism right there. Or you can just be somebody who is giving constructive criticism, actually breaking things down, and literally saying, like, hey, with this point, with that point, with that character, this character, with these ingredients that you put in the character. Whereas someone flat out like, oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Yeah, it sucked. It's a gray area when it comes to a lot of things. But technically, no, they're not the same. Technically, no.
I can't tell who is honest or who is being selfish.
Selfish in helping you improve?
Yes. Now think of it this way. You can have a psychiatrist who prescribes you medication, or you can have a family member or a friend who gives you something, and they do it for a personal gain. They can just flat out say, oh, you're broken, and you're not broken, but they say, oh, I think you should go see that doctor. And they say they're helping you, because normally people would be helping somebody in a situation like that. So they camouflage themselves behind their own words and try to pass off their false intent in doing such. That's what people have done to her. They say, oh, I'm trying to help you. A lot of times they weren't. Some people were helping her, but a lot of people, they were bashing Goth Nebula and hurting her. Oh my goodness. And really, I'm getting so much cringe from you reading this like that, mocking her. I really fucking am.
Your art? Helping you to improve your character's appearance? Helping you to improve your bio? Yeah, that's just low. You cannot think people who just criticizing you to help you improve are being selfish. They are basically being selfless.
You're not being selfless. You know why you're not being selfless? Again, you didn't have to make this fucking video. Compared to me, you're not even close to being selfless. You don't even carry her emotions. You gaslit her. You use Dumbsville. You use Michael, whoever the hell that was, from Twitter or X, to justify your bullshit on her. If you were being selfless, you could have just come up to her and say, hey, Goth Nebula, can we please talk? Can we just work this out? You would have asked her, how do you feel? How would it make you feel? Like, if I made a video, if it's going to make you feel a certain way, I won't do it. You would have literally paid attention to how she felt. You didn't fucking give a damn. So don't call yourself selfless. A lot of you idiots were not selfless. You were selfish. Making this video makes you selfish because you had the nerve to gloat in regards to Dumbsville, the almighty Lego Jesus that you simp.
So I choose not to believe in both because I'm tired of being tricked and almost conned.
My head is fucking hurting, but it's whatever. I signed up for this shit. I'm going to help Goth Nebula and anybody else you ruin, you pieces of shit, because no one deserves this. No one.
I can't believe this. I can't believe this.
You can't believe this? This is your fucking nightmare you created, and you're stuck in your nightmare as of today.
I can't believe this. I can't believe it.
Main character syndrome initiated. Oh, wait, it already started. Easterchu.
I can't
Shut up and continue. Wow, that you see, you're a straight up bully.
Anyone think I don't listen? They go too far by trying to say things like grammar and needs improvements or my stories suck. Your stories do suck to a degree.
Did you show us her story? Did you show us? Okay, let's go see if you show us.
Grammar and needs improvements or my stories suck. Your stories do suck to a degree. Just saying.
Okay, you can do more than just saying. Where is it? Where's the truth? Where's the truth that you got? The evidence. Where is it, Easterchu?
One thing they can't do is change me. People can't change for who they are. Nobody asking you to change.
Yes, you are. You made this crumby video for whatever reason. Why are you doing this? See, this is the thing. You folks who make these videos to attack Silent Night 3 and Goth Nebula, you made it to argue at them. You want an argument. You want an audience. That's what you did. But you're not really worried about the results. That's what you share in common. You're not worried about the results. You're not worried for their safety. You're not worried if you're doing something right or wrong.
They are asking you how to improve. Rant is something I never experienced or heard until one person in 2017, before my birthday, made a harsh rant about me which nearly destroyed my sanity and gave me a near heart attack. But apparently it was a rapid palpitation attack. Hey, that's Dumbsville! Dumbsville was trying to help you.
No, he fucking wasn't. Dumbsville wanted the views, and he wanted something to do. He wanted love, he wanted attention, and if he actually cared, he would have checked up on Goth Nebula and anybody else he did a rant on, or at least would have said, like, hey, people, I totally mean it. If you do this, I'm gonna call you out, and what you did to Goth Nebula was not cool, you hurt her. He would have acknowledged so much, enough that, yes, she was hurt by people giving so-called criticism, all just to have an invitation to jump into a wrestling match that never was a wrestling match to begin with. And people are trying to help her improve. No, you're not. You're not. You're trying to make her improve into somebody she's not. Why does it matter to you? You have so much going on in the world, and yet you don't tell anybody else this, but you select victims, and you try to force it upon them. What about the people who are literally ruining folks across the globe, like yourselves? Why don't you focus on yourselves? Since you want to improve so much, why don't you improve yourselves?
Of course, what he does come across as mean, but he's right.
No, he's not. But he's right. You had a stutter in your voice. You gulped. You practically gulped. You're playing favorites. You literally fucked up, Easterchu. You fucked up big time by hurting Goth Nebula. Literally. By adding into this.
I'm defending him. He's right.
I'm defending him. He's right. I'm defending him. He's right. You just admitted that you're defending someone that's abusive. You really did.
Maybe if you can just ignore the fact that he was being harsh.
Maybe if you could just ignore the fact that he was being harsh. Easterchu. So, let's say Goth Nebula was being harsh. Yeah? Let's say if she was. Let's use Sally Acorn. So, maybe if we just ignored that Goth Nebula was being harsh towards Sally Acorn, then we could see that where she was coming from, yeah? No. Many of you people who went after her, you wanted to change her. You didn't really care. So if you couldn't really get past the point that she was bashing Sally Acorn and actually see that she was going through something, then what makes you think that she could get past what Dumbsville actually did to her compared to what she, quote unquote, did to Sally Acorn?
The reason why he did that.
Why can't Dumbsville say it himself? Dumbsville is basically the quote unquote Donald Trump of this whole situation. Why can't he explain it? Why can't he explain it himself? Why are you explaining it for him?
Because you keep ignoring criticism.
Because you keep ignoring criticism. When someone doesn't want your criticism, it's not up to you to force it down their throats.
Selma Island rants is something that should have real evidence, facts, and opinions. But this person had no real fact or how I felt. Dumbsville did prove something that he did present.
Then show it. Then fucking show it.
He did present that you don't take criticism. I even proved from previous you don't even take criticism.
Why are you getting so fucking worked up over someone not taking your criticism?
I even proved that you are bad at showing grammar.
What is this? What are you crying or something? Are you falling into tears over this? Why are you so damn serious?
Tell me something. Am I not in the right of showing what the true colors of you are? What?
You're in the wrong because the true colors of Goth Nebula have been sincere. Right in front of you. Right in front of us. You're not in the right because you're gaslighting her. You're trying so hard and you sound constipated. You're bullying her.
What you're coming off is more hypocritical than anything.
You're not even looking at how hypocritical you sound by saying that.
Rants can be very hurtful to a person who has a life struggle. Quit putting your life struggles on blast then.
Oh my god, do I really have to do? Yes, I do. Let's hear that again.
To a person who has a life struggle.
Rants can be very hurtful to a person who has a life struggle.
Quit putting your life struggles on blast then.
Quit putting your life struggles on blast then. You say this to someone who says rants can be very hurtful to a person who has a life struggle, who has life struggles. So you're basically telling her that, oh, stop talking so much about your life struggles. Stop talking about your life struggles. Easterchu, do you really want me to tell you? Do you really want me to tell you? I'll tell you what I'm about to say right now. You're a fucking robot. A Dumbsville robot. And it pisses me off that you listen to somebody like him. You ruined so many viewers by having them just follow you blindsidedly. You helped to victimize Goth Nebula. Way to fucking go.
Then, you know what you can do to avoid all of this? You can choose to ignore criticism. Nobody's gonna hurt you for doing that.
You already did. You said you can choose to ignore criticism. You just said what she could have done. Oh my goodness. What?
Life struggles on blast then. You know what you can do to avoid all of this? You can choose to ignore criticism. Nobody's gonna hurt you for doing that.
They already did. You and Dumbsville. I'll be right back. I'm also going to timestamp this as well. jeez. Well, I'm back.
You can ignore half the criticisms you get, and yet
What?
you can take them to
Wait, what? Where am I? Okay, let's just one more time.
life struggle. Quit putting your life struggles on blast.
Quit putting your life struggles on blast then. So says the almighty Easterchu.
You know what you can do to avoid all of this?
You know what you can do to avoid all of this?
You can choose to ignore criticism.
You can choose to ignore criticism. You just said that. You can choose to ignore criticism. That's what you're telling Goth Nebula here, right?
Nobody's gonna hurt you for doing that.
No one's gonna hurt you for doing that. Oh, already happened. You, Dumbsville, and a vast lot. But just remember what you said here.
You can ignore half the criticisms you get.
You can't ignore half the criticisms you get. You literally just said that. You can't ignore half the criticisms you get. Then why tell her to ignore them?
Ignore half the criticisms you
Oh my god, seriously, that's a felony. So, let's do this
do
again.
to avoid all of this. You can choose to ignore criticism. Nobody's gonna hurt you for doing that. You can ignore half the criticisms you get.
Did you say you can or you can't? Now I'm confused. One more time. You know what? Let's do this.
For doing that. You can ignore
Okay, I do apologize. You said you can ignore half, not you can't. I do apologize for that.
half the criticisms you get. And yet, you can take them to heart. Do not send your fans after them like you did with Dumbsville.
Where is the evidence? Where's the evidence, huh? You didn't show it. What fans went after him? She didn't send people after him. She literally told people, yeah, please, I'm not asking for sympathy. And please talk to him without causing an argument. That's not sending someone after somebody. That's telling someone, hey, can you please talk to this person? I don't want any trouble, but I also don't want anyone starting an argument with him. That's not sending someone after someone. That's telling them, hey, don't start shit with them, even though I'm concerned and it really is bothering me.
For instance, too much harsh pressure on a person can lead to a devastating future to turn bad or insane. I almost lost my sanity because I got ranted on by one person. Was there for me at the time and understand my life, and he too was autism like me. It's autism.
He's still autism. It's autism.
It's autistic, not autism.
Don't get worked up by it. It's just a simple grammatical mistake. A lot of us, well, we all make mistakes. We all make mistakes, Easterchu. You make mistakes. Stop trying to turn her into a fucking super soldier. Goth Nebula was never meant to be a super soldier. Leave her the fuck alone.
And that's just one person who ranted about you.
Okay, you say that, but why? What's her reason especially?
I actually did a YouTube search. I don't see much other people ranting about you.
You don't see that. You didn't consider her reason, and you don't consider the fact that she's been harassed. Again, you didn't talk to her. You talked at her.
But eventually I did. It did make me listen to the criticism a little bit more, not rants. Then why did you make a journal entry saying you don't take criticism?
Because what she meant was she is torn between accepting and declining different types of criticism based upon the fact that a lot of it may sound sincere, and come to find out it's not sincere, and she doesn't know a lot of the times, if not half the time, which is sincere and which is not sincere criticism.
One person from Wattpad that is, I don't know, is misguided or something. She believes that villains have a heart, but not every single one of them. She wants me to make villains in my stories reform, but there's one problem. Stories and fan stories need an antagonist to order for the protagonist to win and end up by defeating the antagonist. Without the antagonist character, the protagonist won't have a heroic ending. Yeah, but I should show you this.
You don't have to, but oh, here we go.
We should throw away Elastic Man because he apparently was a bad guy in his previous life, and he's been accepted by Batman. We shouldn't have him on a good side team because of his so-called evil actions.
Let's go read this before I say that I agree or disagree. Protagonist to win and end up
by defeating the antagonist. Without the antagonist character, the protagonist won't have a heroic ending.
But that's the thing. I'm gonna hold on to this.
Yeah, but I should show you this.
She's saying without the antagonist, the protagonist won't have a heroic ending.
We should throw away Elastic Man because he apparently was a bad guy in his previous life, and he's been accepted by Batman. We shouldn't have him on a good side team because of his so-called evil actions.
Villains can never be reformed and have a heart. Like Scourge the Hedgehog, for example.
So, I agree with you. She had a different opinion on villains. Villains can reform. Good guys can stop being good guys and be bad guys, or they can just be like Jason Todd, have moments and stuff, and end up being an anti-hero somewhere down the line, if not already. Different stuff. You know, it's a big spectrum. But at the same time, you could have just gone to her and spoken to her. Easterchu, you could have just talked to Goth Nebula, but you felt the need to make this and even be a self-proclaimed, actually not self-proclaimed, you're literally admittingly a Dumbsville simp. And you basically did half of what he did. He did far worse than you, though.
And you don't give out your sources, nor did you explain your example.
Here's the thing. You don't even have all her stuff here, do you? Do you or do you not have all of what she has up here? Because even the sources you claim she doesn't have up here, some of what Dumbsville even talked about, he had more of what she included and what she actually said than what you claim she doesn't have. And that's really sad for both of you, because you both gaslit her.
It's okay. You cannot reform your character, but there's a line on how you make a villain. Your antagonist needs to be interesting. It's fine if you want to keep them as the antagonist, but you cannot say antagonists don't have a heart. Bad guys do have a heart to a degree, but you gotta make them seem interesting.
I do agree. Bad guys, to a degree, they can and do have a heart. It really depends, but a lot of times they can. And as someone who's watched One Piece, I'm surprised you didn't bring it up. But One Piece has characters that, you know, they shift roles. They do.
In real life, there are murderers and terrorists who has no heart or remorse to feel anything when they kill innocent people. Like the Florida school incident, for example. 17 young victims were killed. Or the Sandy Hook Elementary shooting in 2012 that killed 26 adults and 20 children.
I am so sick and tired of you fucking reading like this, but I have to do it because, this is evidence of you doing some bullshit here, and a lot more. I'm talking about you, Easterchu.
Yeah, but that's America. Their gun laws aren't very strict.
As someone who lives in America, I agree with you, and even though not all Americans are the same, if that's what you're getting at. So yeah, there's also that. So you should be careful what you say.
And what's also pretty interesting, I like it how you in fact put the elementary school shooting, even though the victim has something else happening to them.
Seriously, if you do not include an article, then screw you. Because you've done what Dumbsville has done so much. Make claims and not show an article, and then act like, oh, we're gonna grill you for this because you're not smart enough to counteract this before we claim you have no proof, Goth Nebula. Like, I'm sick and tired of that shit.
Like, you cannot assume all school shooters or terrorists are killing people because they have no heart.
You should show the article, You should show the article. I'm not agreeing and disagreeing with you. What I'm saying is you did something wrong by not showing the article. And by demonizing her for not believing you, basically.
You know why terrorists like ISIS kill? Because it's their belief. It's not because they don't have a heart. It's their beliefs.
You could have told her that. Whether you're right or wrong, you could have told her that in a DM, a private DM or something. Not shown it up here like Dumbsville.
You cannot blame one's beliefs to think they're heartless. I know some people who are Christians and they don't like gays. Doesn't mean they don't have a heart.
Yeah, you're right about that. But there's certain folks who really don't have a heart, so to speak, who are also Christian and non-Christian. There's different peoples, whether they have a belief or not, that have hearts and don't have hearts, or they have different beliefs and they're programmed a certain way by their parents and whatnot. The list goes on. It's a gray area. But still, you could have reasoned with her up close, instead of making this video. But it tells me that you weren't really being sincere to begin with, especially with how you were defending Dumbsville.
Some of them don't, but you cannot label every murderer or terrorist as a heartless person. A heartless person is a heartless person. Terrorists don't feel anything when they kill innocent people. That makes them villains with no heart. That's why I don't listen to advice by some people, and ideas lead to terrible ones.
Here's an idea for you. For any of you who do stuff like this. Stop wasting time mocking somebody. Just stop. I'm not saying, oh, you're not allowed to mock to, even though I'm mocking. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying if you come across somebody who is literally saying, I cannot handle criticism, or I can't handle certain types of it, and you end up mocking them when they're not even attacking you or anyone, and you're making up lies that they went after somebody, then you should take a seat. Take a seat. Think about what you're doing. Is what you're doing necessary? Are you helping this person? Are you helping viewers to laugh at them? Think about it. And think about how bad and stupid it is.
Yeah, I could agree.
Oh my fucking god, what are you whispering? You sound like a menacing villainess right here. Or villain.
When they kill innocent people, that makes them villains with no heart. That's why I don't listen to advice by some people, and ideas lead to terrible.
We're still... Oh my god. Terrible. Let me... Where are you reading now? I don't even know... Okay, let's just do this. It's at the bottom. You're okay. You have it all the way at the bottom.
Once. Yeah, I could agree because of fantastic.
Oh, that's why. You know what? I could agree. I didn't like that Fantastic Four, but guess what? I also didn't see it, so you might jab me for that. I agree.
But it doesn't mean terrible ideas are a bad thing. It just means that you need to, in fact, think ahead what you're going to do. Would the story be good when you add that in? Will the story not be good? And by the way, from the story, from what
I want to say I agree with that too. I agree with that.
I've heard, your character, Nebula, has one fight scene. And the rest of the story is just banter. That's it.
I mean, can we see? Can you show us?
You can't hold your reader by the hand. That's a terrible idea. Have anyone learned anything from Onision's books?
I didn't even know about it, so yeah.
I have. Honey,
Stop. What the?
sweetie,
Stop calling her honey and sweetie after what you've done. Don't.
my little Bubba.
My little Bubba? Are you giving her pet names? You're doing what Dumbsville did. You're giving her pet names? Oh, shoot. I'm sneezing. Not your fault, but hey. Perfect timing.
Honey, sweetie, my little Bubba. Please don't think all criticism is bad.
I get you, quote-unquote, trying to be nice, but you're not being nice. You're being inappropriate. It doesn't matter what your intention is. When it comes down to your action right here, you are literally using invite after invite card to say and do things that are derogatory.
Criticism helps a lot when working on projects.
It's also important to know when it is criticism and when it is not criticism. Ever think about that?
I should know. My art wouldn't improve without some constructive criticism, because I learned it can help.
It's not the same when you have people who are harassing folks and saying, let us help you, one of us, one of ours. That's what a lot of you do.
It's the deconstructive criticism you have to be careful of.
And that's what she's trying to be careful of. She's also trying to be careful of people who give this nice sounding criticism to attack her. They open the door, or they try to get her to open the door, and then they go all out. That's what you're doing here.
Like I said about your character's hair and the bio you have, that's constructive criticism. I pointed out the good points and then the bad points and told you how you can improve. If I said your art sucks because you're autistic, that's deconstructive criticism. It's not that hard to tell, really.
You did gaslight her, and you did mock her when you were reading her stuff. So that was deconstructive. You were being deconstructive. Not always. You had some real legit constructive criticism, but the majority of what you have in this video is deconstructive.
Really, one is helping you improve while the other is an attack. By the time I'm writing this script, Goth had now made a journal entry apologizing about her behavior. I'm in a new location and I'm using my laptop microphone for this one. Yay, bonus points. Let's get to it. Everyone, I know yesterday was very...
Wait. That's not Goth's voice? This is you. Okay. Why did you do that? Why the fuck did you do... Oh my god. Oh my god. And anybody, if your name is Michael, Black Lives Matter, or anybody who tries to simp Easterchu or come at me, shut the fuck up. Know your role, stay in your lane, because y'all did this. Y'all literally wanted this. Y'all wanted this to happen.
Judging about her behavior. I'm in a new location and I'm using my laptop microphone for this one. Yay, bonus points. Let's get to it.
Everyone, I know yesterday was very selfish of me to bring up suicide was very wrong. I was angry and scared that I wasn't thinking straight, and that is very stupid of me to do that. And criticism, I can't handle it, but I'll try hard to be open-minded. But at the same time, I feel afraid of messing up and try way too hard. But I know some are really, really trying to help. I do want help, but I gotta be open-minded first. Maybe in a couple of months, I'll acknowledge like I did in 2017. But please, do not be so hard on me. And these things I said about terrorists and other things was very stupid.
I wouldn't say stupid. It may have, when I think about it now, it may have been too much. It may have been too much, but at the same time, she had a point in regards to people who wished harm on her, who wished death on her. I'm going to have to show that in the next video. I have to make a mark right here just to try to remind myself to show that type of stuff in the next video if I haven't shown it already. Because it takes a whole lot to understand someone's background, their story and stuff, when it comes to why they say certain things sometimes. And it may not be okay in certain situations, but sometimes we could be there. We could be in their shoes and do the same thing, and it may not be as bad or as difficult or something for them to bring up these things, but Goth Nebula has been through so much, even to the point where people, they ignore the fact that she was given death threats and stuff.
Coming from my mouth. I didn't know why I said that out loud or fear, but that's no excuse to escape from what I did wrong. I was irresponsible, naive, and selfish for not taking criticism hard, but hopefully and eventually that once I feel open-minded, maybe I will listen. But now I just need some time to think about it. If there's
No, I don't know why your video took so long. Because you could have shown this in the beginning. You could have shown this. You literally didn't have to do this. You didn't help her.
If there's also something I was irresponsible for, please tell me so that I can take my responsibilities and fix my mistakes.
By the time people have watched your video, they have said whatever the fuck they wanted to say about Goth Nebula without even looking at this part. You know that, right?
Okay, sure. I'll take your word for that. Glad you're able to work past that, and I hope you do improve in the near future.
What about when you were mocking her and you defending Dumbsville and stuff? You just changed your quote-unquote personality already, Easterchu.
And if anyone shared this video to Goth Nebula, much appreciated and thank you. But I doubt she wants to watch this because she gonna let her.
So you saw the new Dumbsville video? No, but my friend saw it for me. He said that my art had a few same poses and anatomy. Dumbsville wants me to improve my writing better, which I'm really trying really hard. So let's see what you were saying again. Well, the rest of it.
Appreciate it and thank you. But I doubt she wants to watch this because she gonna let her friends watch this video like she did to Dumbsville.
2 kids gone die tonight.
Wait. Why did you say that? Why? I mean, not you. Why did you include that? Oh my god.
But I doubt she wants to watch this because she gonna let her friends watch this video like she did to Dumbsville.
Like she did to Dumbsville? That's not what she did to. Like she did with... Get Get out of here. Get out of here. Jeez. My bad. Anywho. Stop talking like she had people literally go after him when she didn't. If someone really went after him in the name of Goth Nebula, it's because they used her name as a trophy. People do that. They can sit there and smear your name. It's terrible.
2 kids gone die tonight.
I don't like the fact that you have that in here. 2 kids gone die tonight. You sound like Dumbsville when you use clips like that. Whatever character it came from, I don't appreciate that. I don't fucking appreciate that.
Overall, Goth Nebula, did she change? A little bit. She still has a long way to go and can do better. I hope she does achieve that silver medal instead of holding on the participation award, and wishes she gets the gold. I haven't talked about her writing and stories because I don't want to read any of her fan fictions due to me being more in art and literature. Thank you all so much.
What? What? Then what was the point? What was the point? Are you serious?
Go and can do better. I hope she does achieve that silver medal instead of holding on the participation award, and wishes she gets the gold. I haven't talked about her writing and stories because I don't want to read any of her fan fictions
due to
me being more in art and
of an art and
literature.
Wait, what? 39, 30, what?
And stories
Let me do this.
because I don't want to read any of her fan fictions due to me being more in art and literature.
So you're admitting that you're ignorant very ignorant when it comes to what she actually has versus what you and Dumbsville and other people claim. You just admitted that you had no interest in reading the real context of her stories. You admitted that just now. You admitted that, Easterchu.
Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Stay 150, my friends.
Welcome to the rice fields, motherfucker.
Fuck!
That was whatever. In the end, it's whatever. But you know what? I'm actually going to hold off on this. But I'm going to read this right now. This title right here. I'm going to talk about YouTube star, animal activist Michaela Raines dies by suicide after extreme online bullying, her husband claims. And I'm also going to talk about Olympic boxer Imani Kelev. Why? Because while you folks went after Goth Nebula and acted like you had all the energy in the universe to create a super spirit bomb, Goku style, y'all could have helped so many people by your logic. You could have helped Imani Kelev. You could have helped Michaela Raines by your logic, but you didn't. You nitpicked and stuff. You went after Goth Nebula and you nitpicked. And I'm going to look at Femboy Kirito 2's video in the next one, because my thing is, what was the point? Are you happy with the video you made? Are you happy because you feel like it could have helped her, that you tried to help her? Or are you happy because of the attention you got when you made the video? Are you happy because of the potential of the video? Or are you happy because of the fame? I'm talking about you all. Dumbsville, the vast value that I talked about already, Femboy Kirito 2, Easterchu. Are you happy? Or did you see Goth Nebula as a horse? I know you did. In a way, you did. As Sung Gi-hun has said, we are not horses. We are humans. I am going to continue to the next part in my next video. But first things first. People, if somebody doesn't want criticism, think of it as somebody who doesn't want to change. It's not the same. It's not the same. But if you can't change somebody, what makes you think good's going to come out of bashing somebody who doesn't want to accept your criticism? What makes you think good's going to come out of that? Especially if they're just declining criticism. And if they say it's because of what they went through, why don't you just talk to them? See where they're coming from. Instead of making these videos and trying to force them to accept criticism. And then, even in the same video, when I was watching Easterchu was saying that Goth Nebula didn't have to accept criticism, but to ignore it. It's like that's what she was trying to do. So how do you change that? There is so many loopholes in your video, as well as contradictions, Easterchu. And you, Simpin Dumbsville, like, this is the same guy. I'm trying to see, where do I go? Because I don't know. Dumbsville, you have some nerve. I just can't. Goth Nebula, you need serious help and all that stuff. I have other things I gotta do and work on, because I can tell you right here. This didn't happen. You didn't help. Did you know she was up here, Easterchu? Did you know? Do you see this crap right here? You think you did a good job, Easterchu? And tell you this, you're similar. You're similar to the people who went, oh my freaking God, why? You're similar to the people who went after my friend Root, aka Sun93. Look at this. Look. Dumbsville right here. Trying to make Dumbsville sound like the good guy right here, huh? So, what is up with that, huh? You see this right here? And that Dumbsville then made a video talking about it all and said that he wished her the best in life and that he never wanted to harm her. He was deeply hurt that she was one of his idols and inspired him to make videos. This type of obsession that you folks have with trying to appropriate other human beings, piss off. You did not help them. I didn't make this video to ruin you or anyone, Easterchu. I didn't make this to ruin Dumbsville. No. It's because I'm fucking sick and tired of people ruining lives. And what you're doing, you're ruining people, even your own viewers, by making them think they're doing something right, by following your lead. That's why. We already live in this kind of world. We already do. And these victims you could have helped all together. You focused on your fame instead. Because you don't believe you can help people. That's why. That's what gets me. Dumbsville, you, Femboy Kirito too, so many of you, you didn't really believe you can help people. You didn't. And that's why you stooped so low. It pisses me off. You threw yourselves away when you could have done so much. But instead, you caused people to make enemies and to judge other folks and to gaslight them and to make victims. So how does that make you feel? See you in the next one.